Hello and welcome to another random review. My name is Jason Bach and this is the first of hopefully many review videos. I've been doing monthly reviews, but found out it just doesn't work as well if I wait a month or sometimes two to review a book or a movie that I've been seeing. So I decided to change things up and do these as soon as I finish a book or a movie. So this is the first of what will hope to be a lot more in this series. So the book I'm going to review in this video is this one. Let's get the, there we go. Mira Grant is the author, and the book is called The Rising. This is actually 3 books in one. You can see the thickness. You can also see there's a bookmark in there because my wife is now reading this. She was like, would you finish this book? Would you finish this book? So there's Feed, and then Deadline, and Blackout. Those are the 3 books within that. And I actually read Rise. That's a collection of short stories based on events that happen in this world. And I had done in one of my previous videos, I had done a review on it, and I really liked it. I should have read this book first, though, and in retrospect, because this is the original trilogy. Reading some of those stories, those short stories now, I kind of glanced through the book once I was done with this one, and I went, yeah. And that was kind of a mistake. I should have did it in the other order, which is what I told my wife. Wait till I finish this one. If you don't know what these books are about, it's essentially a zombie book. It's a zombie universe where there are these 2 viruses that are made in labs, and they are both released into the world through various means, and they come together. And one of their surprising results is one was designed to cure cancer, the other one was designed to cure the common cold. And when they met in the wild, they decided, hey, it'd be really cool to animate dead humans or amplify sometimes live humans or other mammals and make them into zombies. So it's interesting because the books themselves, there are a couple of zombie scenes, but it's actually not what these books are all about. I mean, it's prevalent through the story, but it's not like every chapter is a zombie horde is coming for them. You know, it doesn't really happen that often, though it does. So what's more of the focus is the world 20 years after the Rising occurred, which I believe started in 2014. And so the world has kind of come to grips with what this is, and they've managed, though they still have a lot of fear, and obviously for good reasons, you know. And I kind of like what this book does counter to what I saw in the Walking Dead series. I watched that series for a while, and I think once Negan was introduced, and it had nothing to do with the character per se, but my wife and I just started getting completely uninterested. And I think it was just, you know, it was just coincidental that at that time, with that character being introduced, that we stopped, because I think I started getting to the point of, I don't think humanity would have just fallen apart as much as they did in The Walking Dead. I think The Rising is more realistic in that humanity, I think, would find a way to cope with the virus that everybody has, and will eventually, you know, cause you to become a zombie when you die, and find protocols to handle and manage that. Where in The Walking Dead, it just was like, we have absolutely no way to figure out how to, you know, handle when somebody dies, that you actually have to stab them in the head. Because, you know, we need depressing scenes and awful scenarios. So I like that in this book. It's centered around 2 main characters. They're a brother and sister, though they're adopted. They're not biologically related. And they are essentially reporters or journalists, but they're not your traditional ones. They're bloggers. They use a lot of modern technology, and and it's all about ratings and, and all this other stuff. So it's interesting because the titles of the 3 books kind of also relate to what happens in journalism. And, again, I should also state all these, if I want to talk about anything within the book and spoilers, I will do so. So be aware of that. In any event, it starts with them, these 2 characters, Sean and I'm already forgetting the other character's name, but they get involved with a presidential campaign and reporting on them, and they start uncovering things that are going underneath the scenes in government and politics and science and all this stuff. And that's pretty much how everything just keeps going throughout the 3 books. And at the end, you kind of figure you're finally told what is really going on with the virus and is there a cure and all this other stuff. I highly liked the books. I thought all 3 were good. A little redundant, with the description of, yes, you get tested. Yes, you have to go through all these testing protocols. Yes, you have to do this. And it's designed this way because if somebody amplifies here, then they can't, chew your face off or something like that. That was the only thing I thought that got a little, I don't say annoying, but a little redundant. And I got, after you read about 1,000 pages of this, you get it. You know that they're always doing this. So you didn't need to get reminded of it all the time. But that's my, those are minor criticisms. Overall, the book or the trilogy of books are really, really good. I highly enjoy them and would definitely recommend reading them. Grant is a really good author. I've been buying more books of hers and putting them on the never-ending stack of books I'm never going to get around to read. But she's a very good author, and I like her style. So check out The Rising and then read Rise. Do it in that order again, because otherwise some of the stuff may not make entirely the most sense, though you don't need to. The short stories are really good on their own as well. And there's also another book called Feedback, which apparently is the first novel, but written from different characters in that same time period, where the presidential campaign was occurring, except that book is done from journalists who are following the other side of the campaign, so to speak. So I will be reading that sometime in the near future as well. Anyway, The Rising, check it out. That's all I'm going to be reviewing here. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and hope to see you in my next review video. See you later.